I see somebody's here. Oh, I'm not awake yet. Working on the lat check rug. Quit eating the canvas. Hey, 3 people and 3 likes up, 3 thumbs up, and quit eating the canvas, you little twerp. Hello. Hey, there's people talking. Hi, Dell. Hi, Wimpy. So I found a list of all about me questions I found online. Hi, Jane. So I figured I would go through these and then, or if y'all had questions you wanted to ask, you could put them in chat. And I can't stop yawning. Let's see. What is my biggest fear? My biggest fear is being trapped in my body, completely aware of what's going on, but unable to communicate. So, like, when they say someone is in a persistent vegetative state, I know that they can sit there and do like an EEG and say, okay, there's not brain activity. But unless someone comes back from, hi, Lisa. Hi, Sabrina. Unless someone comes back from a vegetative state, we don't know for sure if they're in there aware and just not able to let us know. So that is my biggest thing, is being trapped in my own body. I'm not afraid of small rooms. I'm not, okay, yeah, I'm probably afraid of, I definitely don't like snakes, and big spiders, not too keen on. But for the most part, I'm not that worried about other stuff. It's just the being trapped in my own body, to the point that I have a what they call it, an advanced directive, like, things that I want done if I can't, communicate my own stuff. So let's see. Would I rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car? Depends on what the temperature is and where I'm going. Riding a horse is fun, but for little things that can end up in your ears, yeah. Riding a horse is fun, but it does hurt my. I mean, last time I rode a horse, it ended up hurting my knees. But riding a bike is fun if you're on like flat surfaces. I don't like riding uphill. And I have what I refer to as automotive ADHD. I mean, I have ADHD anyway, but it gets really bad in the car. Like, if I have to amuse myself, I can't stand being bored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me count out my things real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. How many pillows do I sleep with? Usually just one. Although I don't even bother taking the... Quit eating the canvas, you little twerp. I don't even bother taking the cushions off the couch, but I don't sleep with my head on them. I have one pillow. Occasionally, I'll bring a second one out, but not very often because it ends up hurting my neck. But I usually have a pillow that I'll put between my knees because my knees get bony, and I have neuropathy, so when things poke me, it hurts. So my bony knees tend to hurt me. But I definitely love... I don't like firm... I don't like firm pillows. I like mushy ones that I can just sink into. So. This is the latch hook rug. And Little Miss keeps chewing on the edge of the canvas because she's being a twerp today. She's usually a twerp most days, but she's... Anytime I get the diamond painting out, she tries to lick the glue. And then this thing, apparently she likes chewing on the edges of the canvas. And according to the vet, kittens that are weaned too early end up... That's when they develop that, they start chewing on the random things. Like, how she eats tape and whatnot. That's just because she was weaned too early. Now, let's see, what is the weather out where I am? I haven't been outside yet. I haven't even checked my mail yet. It is 50 degrees right now where I am, and it's supposed to be a high of 62. So what I'm working on, it's a latch hook rug. Let's see if it's got that. And that's probably backwards for you guys. Did you not have a good time on the horse, Sabrina? So I remember doing these as a kid, and they had the actual pattern printed on the canvas. And now you have to count it. The latch hook kit. And I know it's backwards. Let's see. What is the most daring thing I've ever done? It is a toss-up between jumping out of airplanes and walking to Florida. I went from Norman, Oklahoma to Panama City Beach, Florida. It was 800 and... It's not backwards for you? Awesome. 800 and... It shows up backwards in my... what we're seeing. Or what I'm seeing in my camera. But 883 miles, I think it was, that I walked on my own. But skydiving was definitely the most intense daring thing I did. I mean, walking to Florida, it was more of a like chronic, I guess. I don't know. But I did have to spend a lot of time where I had to trust that I wouldn't run out of food or that I would be able to find water and a place to camp. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I'm going to go get a haircut today after my sister's comes over. You are the most uncoordinated cat I've seen. Little Miss just fell out of the cat tree. And I love the indignant look they get when you catch them being ungraceful. Okay. Am I a clean or messy person? I do my best to be clean, but I am not always organized. Like I don't like to keep dirty dishes in the sink. I mean, I may keep dirty dishes in the sink for like an hour or so, depending on what it is. But I tend to, keep stuff like that clean. I'm, clean the sinks on a daily basis. Stuff like that stays clean. But my desk is a pile of priority mail envelopes and bags because, good morning, Nancy, because I have way too many reusable shopping bags all of a sudden. But like my yarn is quasi organized. I mean, it's contained, but I'm definitely have yarn that's getting buried behind other yarn. And my stuff like my closet is organized. My shirts are organized by size. But I used to be to the point that I had them organized by color even. And like whether it's a solid shirt or a print shirt and whether, then by colors. And I have made myself relax on that because it used to stress me out just doing laundry, hanging up clothes. But like, I sweep every day. So for the most part, I'm clean. I just have pockets of messy. Am I related or distantly related to anyone famous? I don't know if any of y'all know the hymn, It Is Well With My Soul by Horatio Spafford. He is an uncle. I don't know how many greats are in there. The neat thing about that, the hymn, It Is Well With My Soul. Back when, I think it was around the time that the Great Chicago Fire went up, but it's back when, when people were going on vacation, they had to go everywhere on ships. He and his wife and his kids were planning on vacation to go on vacation. I think I'm not sure if they were going to England or where they were going, but something happened. He had to stay behind, and he was going to take like the next ship over. He sent his wife and his kids ahead, and the ship that was his wife and kids were on went down. It sunk, and his wife was saved. I'm not sure if he lost all of his kids or just some of them. But when he was going over to meet his family, what was left of his family, he had the captain of the ship stop where the previous one had sunk. And that's where he came up with the words for the song, It Is Well With My Soul. And we played that song actually at my mom's funeral, and that was the song where everyone lost it. But it is, I mean, it's kind of a good, I mean, it's a funeral. I mean, it's not necessarily sung as a funeral song, but if you know the story behind it, it's kind of a funeral song. My next crochet tutorial, I'm still working on a loom knit tutorial. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to kind of get through some of my other projects. I've been working on this for months now, and because I work on it for a little bit and then put it aside for a couple weeks. And but I want to kind of get this done, but I need to get the loom knit tutorial done because I've got most of it recorded. I just need to finish the hat and then finish editing it. And sorry, that was my cat's making weird noises. I'm not sure yet what I was going to do for my next tutorial. Let's see. Who was my favorite teacher in school and why? Okay. In grade school, my favorite teacher was Mrs. Brashears, was my second grade teacher. And the summer before second grade, I went over, she lived just down the street from us, and I went down to her house, and basically, like, she had all these books, and I got to basically use her as a library. So, but it was just really neat because she just had me, I mean, I was already excited for school because I was, teacher's pet from the get-go. But she was so awesome. And I remember when, we got enrolled for second grade, my mom had, I guess when they did the enrollment, she came back and told me, she was teasing me. She told me I got the meanest teacher for second grade. And I got so upset because I was mad that meant that I didn't get Mrs. Brashears. And they were just trying to say Mrs. Brashears was the meanest teacher. But in high school, my favorite teacher was my high school band director. And let me tell you about this guy, Mark Balthrop. He's actually a Presbyterian minister now. He started teaching at my school. The large loom knit. The only thing I have going on the loom knit right now is a cowl. But morning, Gina, and hi, Carol. Mark Balthrop showed up. His first year teaching at my high school was my sophomore year, and my high school had sophomore, junior, and senior. So he showed up my sophomore year and then left the end of my senior year. And he basically became a father figure for me. I mean, he wasn't that much older than me. I think that was he was only like 6 years, maybe older than me. But he made sure that I, was able to get to the band, to the games, football games, where we played in. He made sure that because I was homeless a lot in high school. He made sure that I would have a place to stay. He helped me find places to live, families to live with in high school. At one point in, I think it was my sophomore year, I was going to drop out for a semester because my thing was I wanted to go and get a job, work full time, save up some money so that I could rent an apartment and not have to worry about where I was going to live. And he told me that if I dropped out even for just a semester, he would not let me back in band when I came back. And because he knew that if I dropped out for a semester, I just wasn't coming back. That, no one comes back if they drop out for a little bit. So he's the entire reason I didn't drop out of high school, because I knew that I wanted band. Band was what kept me going. So that was my favorite teacher in school. I've got to figure out. Okay, I cannot work on this and question at the same time. Let me swap project real quick. Hi, Diane. Hi, J Hook. Hi, Terry. I'm stuck on my latch hook. There we go. So let's see. Am I an extrovert or... Oh, wait, actually, hang on. Someone had a question earlier. What Nancy asked, what do I enjoy crocheting? All kinds of things. I mean, right now I'm kind of addicted to corner to corner. And although I'm still nervous about the Grafgan, the Harry Potter Grafgan, but and I'm liking the, now that I've made it through the back portion of the cardigan, I'm having fun with the cardigan. But I do a lot of, like, the market bags are fun. The big projects, they're fun because I know that I'm going to really like them when they're done, but they take so long that it I have to break it up and go work on something else for a while because I feel like I'm not making any progress. Let's see. And Karen asked, what instrument did I play? I played clarinet and alto sax. I was teaching myself the flute, and I was wanting to learn trumpet, but I just never quite got into it before I left. I actually was I started out going to OU, or University of Oklahoma, as a music ed major. Was in the OU marching band for one season, but sight singing, because I wanted to be a band director, because my junior high band director helped me survive, junior high and my home life, and then my high school band director is helped me a lot. So I wanted to turn around and help kids the way that I had been helped. But sight singing, I was in choir in high school. I had a great voice for choir, but I hate singing on my own. I was still new enough to singing that I wasn't that confident. And sight singing scared the crap out of me and is eventually what made me change my major. And how big will this blanket be? I don't know. This is one skein in, and I'm going to see what it's like at 2 skeins and see if I start decreasing or if I keep going bigger and then just get more yarn. Hi, Sexy Tatty, and I can't pronounce the name right below that one. Burgul? This, it's squishy and it's soft and it's fuzzy and it makes for a really squishy corner to corner. I like it. I think my sister will like it. My sister's kind of easy to make for. She tends to like most things that I do. But she's always cold, so I wanted to get her something nice and cushy to cover up with. But my favorite Bernat yarn is still the home deck. Sabrina, have you figured out something to do with your home deck blanket yet? Or your home deck yarn? I haven't used the home deck in its corner to corner, but the C2C, no, it's squishy and it's thick. I am using a bigger hook than what it calls for. because I don't have, it calls for an 8mm and I don't have an 8mm hook. I go from like a 6.75 to a 10. Dana, we might eventually, she's supposed to be coming over after she goes to the doctor's this morning. Let me message her, see when she's coming over. I've got a cat in NASCAR mode. I'm going to try and get her to let me record our crafty days this afternoon, but she may not. But I'm still going to try. Karen, yeah, I have this market bag pattern that I found that I absolutely love using the home deck for because it's stretchy and it's strong and it works, so I don't have to worry about it. I mean, it does stretch some if I put too much in the bag, but it is still great for when I'm shopping. Yeah, that's the thing is I figured using a bigger hook wouldn't be a bad thing with it. So let's see the question. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Technically, I think I am an ambivert. I go between introvert and extrovert. I've been stuck on the introvert side of things for a long time now, though. I can for the market bags, yeah, I can. I'll post that once we're done with the live stream, or let me grab it real quick. Let's see if I've got it on. Okay. Can you guys read that at the top? It looks like it's net/large hyphen market hyphen tote hyphen crochet hyphen pattern. And I haven't crocheted with Plarn yet. I want to, and I've been collecting my plastic bags, but I don't use plastic bags very often. Hi, Corinne. But I definitely want to, and that's on my list of things to do. But back to, am I an ambivert or introvert or extrovert? I can be an extrovert for short periods of time. And, I can be friendly and I can talk to people, whatnot. But then when I am done, when I am tired of it, it's flip a switch and make everyone go away. So when I used to be a prison guard. When we went to DOC training, they had all these different, tests and different things we had to do, like personality tests and whatnot. And the phrase, the term ambivert wasn't common yet. And so we had this one personality test, whatnot, we had to plot out on a graph, and it was supposed to be a square and mine kept coming out as a kite shape. And they kept making me retake the test because they kept saying it wasn't a valid thing because they kept showing me as an ambivert. And after like 4 times of taking the test and coming up with the same exact results, they finally just gave up and said I was weird. But I think we all knew that. Let's see. I haven't had anyone cut grass where I am, but I do know we've got clovers growing everywhere already. And it won't be long before, because we have the landlord or the leasing company hires a lawn crew to go and mow all the lawn of all the properties. So it won't be long before they show up. What is the tallest building I've been to the top of? That would be in downtown Oklahoma City. We have a building, one of those, it's only like 20 floors, 22, something like that. And I have this thing, I don't mind heights as long as I'm not on the inside of a building. I don't like going super high inside of a building. Now, if you put me on the outside of the building in the fire escape and told me to climb up, I'd climb all the way up to the roof. But I hate going above like 5th or 6th floor inside of a building, and I have no clue why. And I've been like that since I was, a teenager. And I had a friend one time that he was schizophrenic and he needed a little bit of assistance with his kind of handling some. So he was a landlord and he needed some assistance with handling that stuff, making appointments, things like that. And so I was helping with that. And he had some tenants he needed to evict. And so he needed to meet with an attorney who happened to be on the 22nd floor. And I made him pay me hazard pay to go up there. And I swore the whole time that I could feel the building moving in the breeze. Did not like it. Okay, now the Empire State Building, I think that I would I would deal with my fear to be able to go up in that. I want to go to the observation deck. Let's see. Okay, and let's see, where's someone that's my favorite colors? Dana asked my favorite colors. I will joke and tell people that my favorite color is clear plaid, which, obviously isn't a color. I like primary colors like red, blue, green, yellow. Although it is interesting that the color blue is the most common favorite color. When I was a kid, I had a thing for the color pink. Like, I was absolutely my favorite. Like, if I got a box of crayons, and when I color with it, I would make sure I color it flat so it wouldn't ever lose my, look, so it always would look neat and wouldn't get rounded. Okay. My C2C, because I will do the chain 3, and then I do 3 double crochets in each block. Because that's just whenever I Googled, who was it that did it? Yarn Joy podcast, I believe, is, hi Darla. They're the ones that did the, that I used their video to learn corner to corner. And I have my yarn stuck on itself. There we go. That's the one thing about this yarn is occasionally it gets stuck on itself. And I have to pull out the stitch and start over. Let's see. What would I do if I won the lottery? First thing I would do is hire an attorney, because I'm going to need help with tax, setting up like whatever, paying the taxes and making sure I don't get scammed, and setting up some kind of trust so that I would have like a routine income coming in. And then I would buy a house and buy a car, and then pay off my debts. And the rest of it, I would set it up so that I would just have, like I have now, because I get on disability, I get paid disability. You get paid once a month, and I can't budget and stick to a budget and make a monthly paycheck last me an entire month to save my life. I used to work, when I worked for the state, we got paid once a month, and those last 10 days of the month always sucked. So what I have now is I have a friend that he acts kind of as a power of attorney, and he doesn't really even have to do much. He just kind of keeps me accountable at this point. But I have, my check goes into one account, and then out of that account, my rent gets paid, my prescriptions get paid, my internet gets paid, the cat wellness plans get paid. Pretty much everything gets paid out of that, and then I get a weekly allowance. So I can at least I could survive a week, on the same amount. Yeah, I need to figure out decreasing in a rectangular, or increasing whatever in a rectangular shape. But depending on, because I have the one that I'm making for myself, I want it to eventually be rectangular, but I'm not to the point yet where where it's not wide enough yet. Thank you, Darla. And I figure if I'm making just a small blanket for my sister, a square will be a fine shape. And just as a reminder, if you could hit the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. I know we've got 24 people in here and 15 thumbs up. Let's see. If I were a superhero, what powers would I have? The power of invisibility. Hi, Lisa L. The power of invisibility, and I probably would not be a superhero. I'd be a minor supervillain, because I would have way too much fun being invisible. Nancy, I can't. Let me get a little bit better at it. Because Little Miss, you twerp. Anyone want a cat? Not getting rid of her. I can do that, but let me get a little bit better at the corner to corner and the decreasing and whatnot before I do a tutorial. So yeah, but no, I like the idea of invisibility, as long as things that I was touching would turn invisible, because it wouldn't be, being invisible wouldn't necessarily be that much fun if, someone could see you moving like, a can of soda across the room. If I could go back in time, what year would I travel to? I don't know that I'd want to go back in time. Like I don't even like historical movies or historical fiction. I like all the new advancements that were done. I like the new technologies, and the things are more accepted now. I love stuff like that. I don't want to go back to previous times. So I don't know that I'd go back, but I would like to go back and take my young self and time travel them to the future so that I was getting to grow up in like today's culture. Because there are so, things are so much more accepting than they were when I was growing up. No chickens. That's my cats chirping. Although if you go outside, one of my neighbors has roosters. But I don't hear them inside, which is good because if I could hear them inside, I'd be calling the code enforcement. Where I live, you're only allowed to have chickens if you have at least an acre of land, which is basically an entire city block. But as long as I can't hear it inside my apartment, I don't care what you do. What is the worst gift I have received? Okay, back to my friend that was schizophrenic. He was a paranoid schizophrenic. Okay, my sister's on her way over. He's paranoid schizophrenic. Generally, that made him more timid and easier to deal with. But he had one time when one of his basically flare-ups would have got real bad. Hang on, I got to give my sister directions. But one time he was still paranoid, but he got a little bit more aggressive, kind of, lashing out at stuff. And it was around Christmas time. And see, when I was a teenager, I used to cut, self-harm, whatnot. And that lasted up into like my early 20s, but I have scars on my arm. I don't know if you can see them. And he gave me for Christmas a razor blade and instructions how to cut. And it irritated me, but I realized if she gets here before 11, but it's 10:45, so I doubt. But I am going to try and get a video in with her this afternoon when we're working on the acrylic paint pour. But now I can just look back at that friend and realize, he wasn't really in touch with reality. He was, and now it's just kind of sad funny, but yeah, that definitely was the worst Christmas or worst present I ever got. The second worst was a not quite full bottle of like body wash or lotion or shampoo or something that my stepmother bought on clearance from a grocery store. And it was on clearance because the cap had broken and some of it had spilled out. So she had a real knack for some interesting. Oh, and it was that rose scent that like everyone associates with little old women. See, I'm not sure why she thought that I would want that, but yeah. Stepmothers are evil for a reason. My birthday is in December. I am a December baby. My poor mother, I was due. I was supposed to be born at the end of October, and I was born the beginning of December. They let my mother go a little over 2 weeks. They were going to let her go until she went into labor with me. She was a little bit over 2 weeks overdue when she started going into labor, and every day for 2 weeks she went to the hospital in labor, and they said, okay, you're going to have your baby today, what up? And then a couple hours later, they would send her home because labor stopped. Because I was content where I was and did not want to leave. Oh, awesome. My sister is born, her birthday is December 16th. My dad's was December 18th. And my mom's was December 22nd. And then I have one sister that lucked out and got born in July. And so she never had to deal with Christmas themed birthday presents. Or presents are like, this is part birthday, part Christmas. No. Which is probably part of the reason I don't care much for Christmas now. Let's see. Would I rather vacation in Alaska or Hawaii, and why? I would probably rather go to Hawaii just because I want to go. I mean, for one, Alaska is cold, or most of Alaska I think is going to be cold, but I loved the movie Lost, and Lost was filmed in Hawaii, but or parts of it were filmed in Hawaii, but I'd like to see the mountains and the waterfalls and the things like that. That's awesome, Darla. 12, 12, 12. Nancy, I don't know how many across. I'm just going by size. Like, whenever I figure it gets wide enough, then I will just start decreasing it. Those poor kids are never going to have decent birthday parties. See, Thanksgiving would ruin my birthday more often than not, because my birthday would fall, would end up falling close to on the extended Thanksgiving weekend at school. So I don't know how many years I didn't get to have a birthday party because of that. So let's see. What did I want to be when I was small? The first thing that I can remember wanting to be was a marine biologist, and I was in. Hi, Bill. I don't think Drew's in here. I was in like kindergarten. I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I don't even know how many kindergartners know what a marine biologist is. Oh, hey, Drew. But alas, I couldn't be a marine biologist because I can't scuba dive because I have problems with my eustachian tubes, and so I can't equalize pressure. Okay, have a good day. Hi, Alicia. Let's see. What is my favorite family vacation? We didn't really go on vacation when I was a kid. I mean, like when I was little, I think they went on vacation, but like I can barely remember it. But I think what I call my favorite vacation now, is going to be with when my sister and I go to Mexico, because I like getting to spend time with her, and she's down there often enough she can show me all the um the local stuff, so that I'm not just stuck doing touristy things, although sometimes touristy things are fun to do. Let's see. The last movie I went to was over a year ago. It was the first time I went to Mexico. Me and my sister, there's a little shopping mall type thing close to her apartment, and they have a movie theater, and they have a lot of would have English movies that would be dubbed into or not dubbed into Spanish, but would be subtitled in Spanish. So, which I didn't care about the subtitles. The last movie I saw was Bumblebee, the Transformers movie, and I thought that was really cute. Max, what's the matter? Can y'all hear Max? What you doing, little boy? He likes to go into another room and then cry like he's lost. Here. Yeah. You're my needy little boy, aren't you? I'd have some parties growing up, but not many. And I think once I got past like second or third grade, I didn't really have parties again until I was in, I think I was like, 23 or so. But I don't even bother with them now. Let's see. What two radio stations do I listen to in the car the most? I listen to audiobooks in the car, or when I'm on the public, bus, whatnot. Um, so I don't listen to radio very often. And I'm currently listening to the second in a series. It's called Please Don't Tell My Parents I Blew Up the Moon. And it's about kids that are, children of superheroes, but they will be, they end up become, when they get their powers, whatnot, they become either superheroes or supervillains. And it's a child of two superheroes becomes a supervillain. But she wants so desperately to be a superhero, but it's just not making it that way. Oh, I got cat hair on my face. And now my nose itches. If I could hire someone to help me, would it be with cleaning, cooking, or yard work? Cooking. I need a personal chef because I hate cooking. I want someone that I could sit there and say, okay, these are my dietary choices, restrictions, whatnot. And let them pick a menu. Because I already have the rental agency handles the yard work. And my house isn't big enough to have to deal with someone else cleaning it. Do I like or dislike surprises? Why or why not? I tend to not like surprises. I have like a perpetual guilty conscience just because growing up, whether or not we actually were, did anything wrong, we were in trouble all the time. And so anytime someone comes up to me and says they need to talk to me or whatnot, I automatically assume I'm in trouble. And so I don't like it. And um I don't like the unknown. I like knowing what's coming up. Um and I definitely don't like hang on a second. My sister needed my address to put in the GPS. Um I don't like, like the physical jump scare surprises. I don't like those because I have a um hyperactive startle reflex. I mean, my nose really itches from Max's cat hair when I pet him. So yeah, I get startled easily, and that's always been a joke everywhere I've gone or where I've worked is how easily people can startle me. Are my parents still living? No, my mom passed away in 2011, and my dad passed away in 2016. How in the world am I missing a square? Am I missing a square? I think I'm missing a square. Well, let's frog this. Thank you, Farah. This is my Goodwill couch. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Let's try this again here. We are not doing pork chop anything. I refuse to eat pork chop ever again for the rest of my life because that's what I choked on. It was very, very tender, and I think that's part of the reason why I choked on it was because every time I would go to cough, instead of getting it too clear, it would just flex and with the force of the cough. Okay. In the evenings, would I rather play a game, visit a relative, watch a movie, or read? Can I do all of them at once? Because I generally have um, YouTube playing in the background, and if you can turn around, where's my TV? I actually have a YouTube video on pause right now. And but I'm watching YouTube. Holy crud, phone. Drew, stop that. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times, Drew. Drew's a dork, everyone. That was him text messaging me the word hi 16 times. Yeah, my phone gets allergies. But no, I would watch YouTube and knit or crochet or some other little yarny craft. And I would probably play a game on my phone, play with my cats. Yeah, I saw that, Drew. That one didn't make noise because I had it open. Oh, and it's 11 o'clock. So, well, I have hit my hour, guys. I still have a whatever 100 minus 21. I have 79 more questions to go. Not did them today, but we'll save those for the next live that I do on next Friday. And don't forget, everyone, tomorrow we will do the D&D show, me and Drew. So make sure you tune in for that one. I don't know whose channel it'll be on yet, but we're eventually going to create our own channel just for the D&D show. So, but thanks for hanging out and listening to me ramble about my life, everyone. Have a great day, everyone. Max says bye. And apparently so does Drew about 20 times.